Welcome, my friends. I'm men's health specialist with over 30 years of clinical experience, and I want you to know that what you're experiencing right now, that frustration, that embarrassment, that feeling like your body is betraying you, you're not alone in this struggle. I've been working with men's health for over 3 decades, and I see the pain in my patients' eyes when they can barely whisper about what's happening below the belt. The shame is real, the frustration is crushing, and the impact on your relationships can be devastating. Let me tell you about Robert, a 62-year-old construction worker who walked into my office 6 months ago. This man had built houses with his bare hands for 40 years, but he could unlook me in the eye when he described how he felt like half a man. His wife of 35 years was patient, loving, but he could see the disappointment she tried to hide. Robert had tried everything. The little blue pills that gave him headaches, the pumps that made him feel ridiculous, the injections that scared him senseless. He was ready to give up on intimacy altogether. But then I shared with him an ancient secret that changed everything. In just 7 days, Robert went from avoiding his bedroom to rediscovering passion he thought was gone forever. What I'm about to share with you today is exactly what transformed Robert's life. Here's what the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want you to know. Your declining performance isn't just about age, and it's not something you have to accept as inevitable. The real problem is that blood flow, nerve sensitivity, and hormonal balance have been disrupted by years of stress, poor circulation, and toxin buildup. But there's a solution that's been hiding in plain sight for thousands of years. A simple, natural ritual. You've probably heard that olive oil is good for you, but almost no one is talking about how to use it specifically at night in a way that naturally helps unclog blood vessels, improve circulation, and gently reignite the fire in your most intimate moments. This isn't about hope. It's about habit. And tonight could be the start of a whole new chapter. So stay with me, because in just a moment, I'll show you exactly how this one simple step can help you feel stronger, closer, and more alive than you have in years. Before we dive in, if you haven't already, go ahead and tap that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way, you won't miss any of the powerful health insights I create specifically for men over 60. And if this message speaks to you, just type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Your feedback helps me make this content even better for you. Alright, now let's get into it. To truly understand why this simple olive oil ritual can change everything, we first need to look at what's quietly happening inside your body after 60, especially when it comes to blood flow. Because the truth is, many of the challenges you've been feeling, lower energy, colder hands and feet, even a decline in intimacy, aren't just part of getting older. They're symptoms of something deeper, a gradual slowdown in circulation. And once you understand what's behind that slowdown, you'll see why this natural nightly habit can be such a gift. When I first started practicing medicine, I noticed something most textbooks didn't teach. Men in their 60s and beyond would sit in my office not because they were sick, but because they felt like they were slowly fading. They couldn't always put it into words. It was a quiet shift, less energy, less warmth in their hands and feet, a loss of drive, not just in the bedroom, but in life. What I came to realize is that behind so many of these symptoms was one common thread: circulation. You see, as we age, our blood vessels begin to stiffen. The smooth, flexible highways that once delivered oxygen and nutrients so freely begin to narrow. It doesn't happen overnight. It's slow, almost invisible, and yet, it affects everything. Your focus, your sleep, your ability to connect emotionally and physically. This isn't your fault, and it's not something you just have to accept. The good news is, your body still remembers how to function at its best. It just needs the right nudge. That's where the nightly olive oil ritual begins to make sense. If you're still dealing with getting harder, there's a powerful natural solution that's been helping men all over the world. Check out the link in the description for a doctor-recommended erectile dysfunction remedy. That might be just what you need. Why olive oil? But don't just take my word for it. In the next section, I'll explain why something as ordinary as olive oil holds such extraordinary power and why the timing of when you take it matters more than you might think. If you're still here and this message is resonating with you, go ahead and type the number 1 in the comments. I'd really love to know you're still with me. Now, let's keep going and dive into the next key insight. I still remember the first time an elderly patient told me his grandfather used to sip a spoonful of olive oil before bed. Back then, I smiled politely. Honestly, it sounded more like folklore than medicine. But after decades of watching men search for solutions and pills, powders, and procedures, I started paying closer attention to the habits that actually worked. and olive oil just kept showing up. So, what makes it so powerful? It's not just fat, it's healing fat. For fast prostate problem solution, use Prostaviv. Check the link in comments section.